Hey there, this is Mike from Mike Buys Houses. A homeowner this week was asking us, should I sell or rent my house, and what are some things to consider if I'm thinking about this? And we thought that was a great question, so I just made a quick video here of some of the things to consider. So first off is how much are you going to walk away with when selling the property? Um, and then how are you going to get the property sold? So how you are going to determine this is by looking at properties in your area that are similar to your property, both in bedroom and bathroom, as well as in size, like related to the square footage. And then also you want to look for properties in your neighborhood, ideally, or within a mile or two, depending on how rural or urban your area is. So when you're considering this, you want to look for properties that are similar condition, and then basically determine what they're selling for, and that'll give you a good idea of how much you can expect to sell your property for. And then you want to subtract out some of the costs that you may incur when selling your property. So you can look at, we have a video talking about the cost of selling your property, and you can even get our free calculator on how to determine how much you're going to walk away with the property when you sell your property. And some of the big costs that you're going to consider are realtor fees, commissions, and things like transfer taxes, any repairs that need to be done, any seller commissions, concessions. Those are just some of the things that you're going to consider in the cost to sell your property. And then also, how are you going to sell your property? So if you do it for sale by owner, you're going to save on some of those things, but then again, it may be more work. So it's just kind of a balancing act depending on your situation. Is it worth doing the work and trying to sell the property for the maximum amount that you can walk away with by not paying realtor fees, or are you trying to just be done with it? And then that leads us into the next question is how much repairs does it need? If it needs a lot of repairs, then you're going to have to do those before you rent the property, versus you may be able to sell the property as is. So just some of the things to consider. And then another thing to consider if you're thinking about selling your property is how much appreciation are you going to give up if you decide to sell your property versus hold it and use it as a rental. So depending on your area, is there a lot of growth coming or is there not a lot of growth coming? And you can determine this usually by like what the economics look like. So are there a lot of businesses moving into the area versus is it more of a slowing down area? Then you would not expect as much appreciation. And then if you're considering renting your property, you want to consider how much work is it going to be versus how much money are you going to make each month, right? So being a landlord can definitely be a lot of work, and that's why a lot of people will often use property management, but then you need to remember that you're going to be paying those management fees. That's going to be about 10% of your rent every month, as well as 1 month out of the year's rent to the property management company. So how will you determine if the property makes sense to keep it as a rental? You can determine how much the rent is going to be. You can use websites like Zillow, Craigslist, Facebook to find out what other landlords are charging in your area. You can call local property management companies and see exactly what they think your property could rent for, or you could use a website like rentometer.com. Those are going to give you a good idea of how much the property will rent for, and then you're going to subtract out the cost again. So what is included in the cost includes your underlying mortgage, your taxes, your insurance. You're also going to want to consider potential vacancies. So typically people assume the property will be vacant for about 1 month out of the year. And that could be just the turnover in between tenants, or it could be difficult to find tenants in your area. Also, you're going to want to consider capital expenditure costs. So that's going to be things that you know are eventually going to break, like the hot water heater, the roof, things that eventually wear down, as well as you're going to want to consider repair costs, just little wear and tear things that happen. And after those costs, typically you can assume those are going to be anywhere from 10 to 20% between the things that I just mentioned of your rent every month. So after that, between management and those costs, or if you're going to self-manage, and you can save on that, but it's going to be a lot more work, does it make sense for you to rent your property and potentially hold on to some of that appreciation that we talked about earlier, or does it make sense to sell your property? And if you are looking to sell your property or you're thinking about renting it, then you should definitely reach out to us. We buy houses in multiple ways, so we can buy houses via cash if you're looking to just cash out based on kind of some of the research you did. Or if you liked the idea of being a landlord, we buy houses via terms, which basically means every month you would get mailbox money from us. We would buy the property, pay you your equity in installments, and you would get the benefits of being a landlord without any of those headaches that we talked about. You don't have to worry about toilets, trash, or tenants. And those are some of the headaches that can definitely occur when you are renting a property. So if you are looking to sell your property, then reach out to us at 267-984-4765, or visit us at mikepasshouses.pa.com. We look forward to helping you.